Transphobe. Hey guys, it's Renee and welcome back. So I asked you guys to ask me some questions for the first edition of Ask Renee, and I have a few questions here on my iPad, and the first few questions are going to be coming from Tumblr. First question from, it's Nick. Hey Nick. How old were you when you moved to the US from Germany, and what was the reason why you moved? Well, I was born there August 27, 1991 in Langen, Germany, and the reason how come I moved back or moved to America was because my father was in the army, and I guess it was time for him to be brought back to America after he was stationed in Germany. And since he had a wife, my mom, and my older sister, we all just went along with him. I don't know the exact reason, but in December of 2000, my older sister and my mother, we moved to Germany and we lived there. It's kind of complicated to why we stayed there, because from what I have been told, we actually wanted to go there just for winter break, but we ended up living there for 4 years, and then I started needing my father again, so it was decided that I will move back to America, and that happened in 2005. So I lived in Germany from August 27, 1991 until October 1991. Then I moved back December of 2000, and then moved back here March of 2005. The next question comes from Prince Alexander. How's your job at H&M? Is it what you expected, and is it better than working at Forever 21? How much do you love Alexander Dow? My job at H&M is so much better. I love it. It's not as stressful as Forever. Like, in retail you have your normal stress of customer stress. I mean, that comes with every job. The job at Forever was more stressful because you had all these things to do that gave you limited of time, and there were overnight shifts which weren't supposed to be overnight. A shift that was on the schedule said from 6 to 10 p.m. That's 4 hours. Like, oh, that's no big deal. But it ended up being a 6 p.m. to 4 in the morning shift. You'd only have a 30-minute break, and sometimes they didn't even give you a 10-minute break. So you're just stressed overall because you want to go home, you want to hurry up, but there's so much stuff to do. And then on top of that, you do have to deal with the customers, so it was so much more stressful than H&M. H&M, the managers are more chill. It's not as stressful as far as the store itself. I love it. It's better than what I expected before I went into H&M. I had friends who told me that it was an amazing job, and I had just medium expectations just because it's a retail store, but it ended up being much better, and we get a 25% discount, and we don't leave late, so it's so much better. I love you so much. You can't even see it in the screen, but I love you this much. Yeah. The next question comes from RC, and he asked, where or what do you have pierced? And I don't actually have it in my lip right now. I actually took it off a few minutes ago, but I have my lip pierced. I have my earlobes pierced, as you could see, and then I have the top of my ear pierced, so I have 4 piercings. The next question comes from an anonymous person. He says, are you living with your parents or alone? Was it hard to come out to your parents? Did your brother still accept you for who you are? Has bullying ever been a problem, and how did it change or shape you? Yes, I do live with my parents. I live with my father, my older sister, and my grandmother. It was hard coming out to my dad just because he cried, but I am very, very thankful that he has his friend Bernice, because she talked to him and let him know that I'm the same child, the same son that he's been having for, I guess, the past 14 years or 15 years at the time, how old I was, or 16, I can't remember. 15 or 16 is when I came out. And if it wasn't for her, I would have probably had a longer time for him to accept me. So I'm really happy that she was there and made things so much easier. He did cry, and Probably just the first night was hard, but then he started meeting my boyfriends. He's just like kind of more into my life, and he accepts me, so I'm glad with that. And with my mom, she actually found out through my sister, but she said she still loves me. Sure, she wanted me to have children, but if I'm happy, she's happy. So I'm one of the lucky ones to have parents to accept me and not want to kick me out or put me into therapy to turn me straight. I actually just have one brother, and I haven't seen him in 8 years, and I don't think he would care. I don't know if he knows. I don't know if my mom told me, just because he does live in Germany with my mom. My mom lives in Germany with 3 of my siblings. I live here in America with my older sister, so I can't really say anything. And my sister, she loves me still. She asks me sometimes about my boyfriend. Sometimes she tells me personal stuff that I don't want to know, which is disgusting. But she tells me that, and I tell her stuff, so she accepts me, so it's not too hard. And bullying, I've never really had too much of an issue. There was one incident which kind of hurt me. I was at a competition and we were stretching and a car passes by and I was called faggots. It kind of hurt me, but I just like, whatever, I'm not gonna focus on this. I'm gonna have to focus on the competition because it was championship competition. So yeah, bullying really didn't happen for me all too much. I can't really say. But I can't really say if it changed or shaped me, just because I haven't ever gone through negative stuff of coming out. But I guess coming out gave me a little bit more strength in myself and just really being who I am, if that answers the question. So the next question from With Love J Lynn is, how was your life growing up? Are you single? Have you ever had your heart broken? And if so, in what ways did you try to heal besides time? Life growing up was somewhat difficult, growing up with an alcoholic mother who is now sober, and just moving a lot and having my parents be separated. It was kind of difficult, but luckily my parents are still good friends. They don't hate each other. They're not those kind of parents who have a custody battle or all that stuff. But recently life's been getting a little bit harder for me just because of personal appearance reasons, so it's kind of hard on me. I don't want to really go too much in depth with the personal appearance. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're gonna tell me, oh, you're good looking, blah blah, but it's not really too much what you think. But life is getting better and I'm happy-ish. And yes, I'm currently single. My heart has been broken. The thing that really helps me is listening to music. I like listening to kind of slow music, sad music, just because I'm listening to the lyrics and how I'm not alone in that certain situation, if that makes sense. So for me, it's either dancing or listening to music, sleeping, or just doing other stuff like playing video games. I mean, everybody needs time, and it's been so long since my heart's been broken that I can't really remember how I dealt with it or healed from it, because I have been single since 2009. No one wants me. The last 2 questions are going to be coming from Instagram. The first one is from Just Jazzy. She asks, what's my favorite Pop-Tart flavor? And I gotta say it's cinnamon. I remember in high school, whenever I got breakfast, I always got the cinnamon Pop-Tart with either chocolate milk or strawberry milk. So cinnamon is my favorite Pop-Tart flavor. The last question comes from, it's Alyssa. She asks, how old do you want to be when you get married? For me, it's not too much of how old I want to be when I get married. It's how stable I want to be. I want to be able to have a good job. I want to have a stable job where I don't have to worry where the income's going to come from. I want to be able to take care of the person I'm with. I want us to rely on each other. So he's going to have a good job, I'm going to have a good job, so we're both going to be stable, we're both going to be happy, where we could do whatever we want, have a nice life without worrying about bills and all that stuff. I don't really care if I'm gonna be in my 20s, my 30s, or 40s. As long as I'm gonna find that person who I really love, I have a stable life, stable job, so that's when I want to get married. That was the first edition of Ask Renee, and there's only a few questions, but this video was kind of long just because there were some long questions. So I'm hoping you guys did enjoy this. If you guys do like this kind of videos, make sure to put your comments down below on the YouTube comment section, and I will try to answer them in the next video. But for now, that is gonna be all. It is getting really hot in here. I had to turn off my fan just because, oh god, I'm burping. Every time I do a video, I burp. It's so hot in here. I had to turn off the fan just because you don't hear the fan in the background. But I'm hoping you guys are having a nice morning, day, evening, whenever you guys are watching this. That is all. Peace. See the bird. Oh, did you see that? I don't know if you saw that. But let me show you the eggs.